One of the most versatile financial instruments available to you, potentially, if you have a qualifying high deductible health plan, the health savings account could get a turbocharge next year, depending on how the tax laws change. I've got those potential changes for the HSA and how it impacts your planning. That and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Do love the health savings account. Of course, you need to be eligible, so you need to have a qualifying high deductible health plan in order to contribute to a health savings account. And if you do, and you meet the other eligibility requirements, which I'll share here in just a second, then you can make a contribution to the HSA. That contribution is tax deductible. There's no income limit. There's no, well, I need to, I can't make too much money, or I have to work in certain sectors, or I need to have a qualifying job. No. You just need to have a qualifying high deductible health plan, and then you can make a contribution to that HSA and get a deduction that is an above the line deduction, so it saves you on state tax as well, and it helps improve the calculation for other taxes and deductions and credits. The account grows and earns interest tax sheltered. Okay, that's the second benefit of the HSA. And then the third is withdrawals from the health savings account for qualifying medical expenses, and there's a long list of those, come out tax-free. So this is the trifecta, the triple tax benefit HSA, pre-tax in, tax sheltered growth, tax-free out. And not only is that a great deal, but depending on how Congress hashes out the two different versions of the new tax laws, HSAs could get a turbocharge and actually be an even bigger component of your financial planning and tax planning in the next year, depending on what is passed. So what are the potential tax law changes that you need to be aware of with the HSA so that you can start planning ahead right now? Well, to set those up, let me just tell you again, to qualify to make an HSA contribution, because this is going to apply to some of the changes. One, you need to have that qualifying high deductible health plan. Not just any high deductible plan will do it. It needs to be HSA eligible. That's one. Second, you can't have any other health insurance. And they put that clause in there at the beginning because if you were married and you and your spouse both have access to group plans, they didn't want someone to say, okay, well, I will have my high deductible health plan over here, and then I will also be on my spouse's plan that has a very low deductible. Therefore, I will be able to contribute to this tax advantaged account and have a really low deductible. They don't want that. So you can't have any other health insurance. 3, that means you can't be on Medicare Part A. And there's a lot of times when people are automatically enrolled in Medicare Part A, they never really use it. But if you're on Part A, even if you still have that qualifying high deductible health plan, you can't make an HSA contribution. And then finally, you can't be a dependent able to be claimed on another tax return. If you satisfy those requirements, you can make a contribution to an HSA. Contribution limits in 2025 are $4,300 if it's just you covered on that high deductible health plan, and not quite double that. I have no idea why they make it this confusing. It's $8,550 is the family, is the kind of the maximum you can contribute to an HSA if you've got family coverage. So what are these big potential changes that could be coming to the HSA based on the tax law? The first one is you might still be eligible to contribute to an HSA if you're on Medicare Part A. And this would be fantastic because, again, as I mentioned, a lot of times people are automatically enrolled in Medicare Part A, and they don't realize and get very frustrated, by the way, when we communicate, hey, listen, technically by law, you're not eligible to contribute to your HSA. They just get frustrated and say, wait a second, I still have this qualifying high deductible health plan. I know, but you were on Social Security and you were automatically enrolled in Medicare Part A, and therefore, when you came in and wanted to work with us, we pointed this out. You actually are not eligible to make HSA contributions. In the proposal, in the House plan, some of the updates to the HSA rules, they would ignore that. They would get rid of that even if you're on Medicare Part A, if you had a qualifying high deductible health plan, you could still contribute to the HSA. That would be a wonderful change. Second big change, and this is the big one, guys, it would double the contribution limits. Double the contribution limits. Okay, so in order to have that double contribution limit, your adjusted gross income, modified adjusted gross income, needs to be below certain thresholds. This is one of the things that I've liked about the HSA contributions is you didn't need to worry about how much income you earned, what your wages were, or if you had dividend income, capital gains, and all that stuff land on your tax return. You didn't need to worry. You were eligible for the HSA, and that's still true. But in order to get the double contribution limit, your income needs to be below certain thresholds in this new proposal. So I suppose you can't have your cake and eat it too. This is still a good benefit. Be aware of it. That to me, again, we've shared a lot of advanced planning strategies where you should consider using your HSA as more than just a health savings account and instead more of a retirement account where you're contributing as much as you possibly can. You pay for medical expenses out of pocket and you save up those receipts so that you have as much money growing tax sheltered and potentially tax free that you can withdraw from and reimburse yourself from out there in the future. By having these double contribution limits for those that are eligible makes that strategy even more profitable to you. And the third big and exciting change and improvement to the HSA in the new tax bills that hopefully become law is that it would clean up the catch-up contributions when you're married. And this is very confusing. We know for an IRA or a Roth IRA, what does the I stand for? I stands for individual. So you can't have a joint IRA. You can't have a joint Roth IRA. I think that would make things very easy, but listen, it's just part of the name. I stands for individual. That's it, okay? With an HSA, both of you are using it. If you're married and even if you've got kids and dependents, everyone's using the same HSA. Technically, it's an individual HSA. And does that really matter? Well, where it sort of creates some confusion and could really create some problems where maybe you over-contributed and have some penalties and a big mess on your hands is if you're trying to make catch-up contributions, if you're married and trying to make catch-up contributions. If you have family coverage right now, you can open an HSA for just one of you. You can't really tell that it's just an individual account, but you can contribute the family contribution limit to it, $8,550. And then if you're age 55 or older, okay, that's the catch-up age for HSAs. If you're age 55 or older, then you can contribute an extra $1,000 on top of that. Well, what if both you and your spouse are age 55 or older? Well, it would be logical that you could each contribute an extra $1,000 to that same HSA. That's not how the rule works. You can contribute an extra $1,000 to that HSA. Your spouse would need to contribute an extra $1,000 to their own HSA. Now you've got two and complicating things. In the new tax laws, in the new tax bill proposal with the HSAs, is it would clean that up and both spouses would be able to make a catch-up contribution to the same HSA. So those are just three of the potential changes coming to the HSA. I'm going to say enhancements, benefits, taking this very flexible financial instrument that has a lot of different financial applications beyond just paying for medical expenses and really expands the usage and makes it easier to use as well. While we wait to see which of those rules actually becomes the new law, big question is, how are you using the HSA to maximize your financial planning potential? Work with your certified financial planner on that. Make sure they're doing comprehensive planning. Tax planning is a part of that, and the HSA fits right in that tax planning strategy. So work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.